tangents like you've learned in Math 2, okay? This is not tangents like you've learned in Math 2. This is tangent meaning one point touches on the circle. So if it's a tangent line to the circle, it touches the circle, and it's the outside of the circle. At exactly 1 point. So that's the definition of this tangent. It's not the triangles that you learned in Math 2. All right, so we are going to work with triangles, and they are going to be right triangles, but we're not talking about like sine, cosine, tangent. We're not doing that. All right, so determine if they're tangent to the circle. What you're going to do, and I'm going to start with number 2 because it's already all mapped out for you, is you're going to test Pythagorean theorem. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. If the left and the right match, then you know it is tangent to the circle. If they don't, it is not. So remember, your right angle is going to fall on the outside of your circle. 20 is going to be your hypotenuse. How do I know that? 20 is the longest one. The hypotenuse is always the longest, okay? So your right angle is always going to be on the outside of the circle. So we're going to do 12 squared. How about if I write it correctly? Sorry, y'all. Plus 17 squared. And we're going to see, does it equal 20 squared? Now, this one gave you all the measures. On number 1, it doesn't give you all the measures, but you can find them, okay? So we're going to use our calculators. I think mine's about to die, so we're going to hope that it stays alive for a little bit. 12 squared plus 17 squared gives us 433. But 20 squared gives us 400. Do they match? No. So this is not tangent. And that's literally all you do. Okay. So test it using Pythagorean theorem. All right. So we're going to check the other one. So our right angle is going to be here. Again, we're going to do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I have my c. How long is our hypotenuse? 5. So sometimes you might have to add them up. I have one of my other sides to be 4, so I can put it in there. But how do I figure out how long this one is? And think about what you already know. Try.
Solve for
What is x? I can look at this picture and tell you what x is. There is no solving, no work. I want to know how long x is right now.
Is it 3?
Why?
Because it's just the radius.
Absolutely. You guys see that? We already have a radius right here from the center to the outside. Remember, any radius within the circle is going to be the same. So this length is going to be exactly the same. Very good. So this one is going to be 3 squared. Put it in your calculator. 3 squared plus 4 squared, not to the negative 1. We get 25. And 5 squared is 25. They are equal. So it is tangent. And if it's multiple choice, it'll be yes or no. So this one will be a yes, the other one will be no. All right, check out your next one. Now we're just trying to find the length, and it's going to tell you that they are tangent. So that means that we can use Pythagorean theorem. So when it says this, that means that we can use Pythagorean theorem. Remember that our right angle is on the outside of the circle. I'm going to do number 4 first, and then we're going to come back to number 3. Number 3 is actually a little bit harder than number 4. So number 4, we're going to write our Pythagorean theorem. Sorry, y'all. You would think it was Monday. We have our A. How long is A, or this side? 4.5. We need to know the full length of this side. What is that gonna be?
Six,
Why is it 6?
because the 3 is halfway to the radius.
So it's a diameter, twice the radius. The radius is 3, so this is 3, which will make 6. And then since this is looking for the full length, we can just label it all X. Solve your equation. 4.5 squared plus 6 squared is 56.25. And then how do I solve? Take the square root. Then we get X equals 7.5. Any questions? Pretty simple, just fill in Pythagorean theorem. Now look at this one. This one gets a little bit different because this question mark is only dealing with this length right here, okay? It's only dealing with that. So when we plug into our Pythagorean theorem, this is not working for me. We do have A, we do have A, which is 11.2. We do have B, which is 6.6. But remember, I need the full length, not just the X. I need the full length. So how would I get that? Once I teach you, you'll be good. What? We know that this is 6.6. Well, how would I get the total though? Are these two the same? Not isosceles, so no, we can't do that. You're close though. If this were 5, how would I get this length? Add them together, right? So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to add them together. 6.6 plus X. That is what's going right here. So that's what makes this one a little bit harder, okay? We're going to clean this up. 11.2 squared plus 6.6 squared gives us 169. There are 2 ways that you can solve this. You can take the square, but remember you have 2 equations, or you can multiply it out. I would not suggest that you multiply this out, like multiplying this. So doing that twice, distributing, that's way too much work. So I would suggest that you take the square root of both sides, because the square root of 169 is perfect, 13. But remember, I not only have a positive 13, but I have a negative 13 as well. Okay, so you have to have both. Sometimes it'll give you one answer, sometimes it'll give you 2, sometimes it won't give you any. We'll check it out. So how do I solve the first one? Subtract 6.6 and we get 6.4. This one is going to be an answer because that is a valid length. 6.4 is a valid length, so this is good. We're going to check the other one. We're going to do the same thing, except we're subtracting it from negative 6.6. And we get negative 19.6. Can I have a negative distance? No. So this one is one of those extraneous solutions. That will not always happen, okay? That will not always happen. Sometimes both of them will work. All right, so any questions about that? All right, how do we find perimeter? We add all this up. So I call this the ice cream cone theorem. This is really simple. So if you guys look, I know it's sounding so trivial. It works, I promise. If we look at this, and I'll look at this sideways right here. If I just look here, you guys see how it looks like an ice cream cone with ice cream on it? Everybody good? If we have these the same length, these 2 sides of the ice cream cone, our ice cream won't fall off. That's what we want, okay? If we change the lengths in this and we make them different lengths, then your ice cream's gonna roll on the ground. We don't want that, right? So what you need to understand is these 2 are gonna be the same length. These are gonna be the same length because they make an ice cream cone up there. And then these make an ice cream cone. They may not be equal to each other, like all 3, 6 of them, whatever, are not equal, but the 2 that make up the ice cream cone are equal, okay? So where I start is wherever they have a singular one. So like this is the full length and this is the full length. We can't divide it by 2. We can't do anything crazy. But right here, I have just 8.6 for one side, right? So if this one is 8.6, that means that one is 8.6. So just this much is 8.6. How do I figure out how much this other part is? 20.6 minus 8.6. What do you get? 12. If this is 12, the other side of the ice cream has to be 12. Again, that's only this length. How do I get this other part? And you get 6.4. If this side of the ice cream cone is 6.4, this other side is 6.4. So now I have the 2 measures that I didn't know. How do we find the perimeter? Add them all up. You can add them separate. You can add like these 2 together and then these 2, I don't care. So what I'm saying is you can do 8.6 twice, 12 twice, and 6.4 twice to get your perimeter. Or you can go with the 2 that you found and the 2 that they gave you. Either equation is obviously going to work. I don't care how you see it. You do whatever you want to. So then we add these up. 8.6 plus 6.4 plus 20.6 plus 18.4 gives you 54 as your print. That's all you do. So use that ice cream cone theorem to fill it in. All right, same thing. They just get a little bit bigger. It has 4 ice cream cones instead of 3. So find the singular one. Which one is the singular one? 10.1. So if this side is 10.1, this side is 10.1. How do I find this other part? And you just keep going all the way around. 18.2 minus 10.1 gives you 8.1. So this side is 8.1. How do I figure out the next part? 21.1 minus 8.1. What do we get? 13. This side is 13. The other side is 13. How do I get this part? Guys, come on. Thank you. And you get? And then the other part is 5.4. And now I have every single one filled in. And again, you can use the full ones. Like I'm saying, you have the full here, you have the full here, and the full here, and then you have the 2 parts. So you can use whatever you want. I like to use the full part, so it's less that I have to write. So we started with 18.2, 21.1, 18.4, and then we found 5.4 and the 10.1. And literally just add those up. So 18.2, 21.1, 18.4, 5.4, 10.1. What'd you guys get? Perfect. And that's it. All right. So this one has a bunch of singular ones. So this one's even easier than the other 2. So tell me how much this side is. 13. How much is this one? 7.2. How much is this one? 6.5. And then how do I find this last 2 parts? 15.2 minus 6.5 is 8.2. And again, I don't ever write it out. I write it out for you guys to see, but when I'm actually doing the work myself, I just go around and I always start at the top, 13 plus 13 plus 6.5 twice, plus 8.7 twice, plus 7.2 twice, which gives us, everybody else gets 70.8. I didn't type anything in wrong. Okay. And that's it. Anything hard yet? Watch those Pythagorean theorems you have to add. We're going to do some more work with those. Okay. All right. 8, 9, and 10. These are the same thing, ice cream cone theorem. So if I'm looking at this one, you guys see it's the ice cream cone. What do we know about these two measures? They're equal. So we're going to set them equal. Okay. So on number 9, I'm going to do it first because there's not any extra junk in there. 5x plus 4 and 6x minus 1, set them equal. I'm going to subtract 5x to solve. I get 4 equals x minus 1. And then add 1. And I get 5 equals x. So again, don't make it more complicated than this. Super easy. So the other two just have that line added in just to kind of throw you off. That's it. There's no difference in the two problems except for it has this line that you do not need. Okay, it's not important. So what's my equation I'm going to set up? I'm going to subtract my littlest x. I get x minus 2 equals 1. And then I'm going to add 2 to both sides. And I get x equals 3. That's it. Same thing on number 10. They just add in some crazy stuff that you absolutely do not need. So if I'm looking at number 10, I don't need this center line, and I don't need this measure right here. All I need to know are these two are equal. So set it up, x minus 7 equals 2x minus 16. We're going to subtract our x. We get negative 7 equals x minus 16. And then we add 16. And what do we get? 9. That's it, guys. That's it with tangents, okay? We're going to look at our homework, and I'm going to work on your homework with you. You'll get a free 100. All you have to do is upload it, and then you can take your quiz, okay? All right, just to go over them again. How do we tell if they're tangent? And these have all the measures. There's nothing crazy that I have to do. Remember that your right angle is on the outside of the circle. 9 and 12 are interchangeable. So if you did 12 squared plus 9 squared, that'd be fine. Equals your longest 15 squared. And if they use it as a full length, they'll put that arrow all the way stretching across. If they don't put that arrow, then you know that they're not doing it. All right. So then we test it. Sorry, 9 squared plus 12 squared is 225. 15 squared is. So they are tangent because they're equal. The next one is also easy. They don't make you do anything hard on there. So they already have the measures. Remember that your right angle is over here. If you forget that that's where your right angle is, remember your C is always your last measure. So you're going to do 12 squared and 11 squared. And we're going to see if it equals 15 squared. We got 265. We just did that 15 squared was 225. They are not equal, so they are not tangent. Everybody okay? Pretty simple. All right, so same thing. We're going to use Pythagorean theorem here. But they don't give us this measure that we need so that we can find the full length. We need the full length so that we can do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And remember that this one's going to be a, and this one's going to be b, or vice versa, be a. What do I know about this length right here? 3.6. So my full line, 3.6 plus 4.9 is 8.5. I'm gonna flat it up so we can do our work down here. So a squared, 3.6 squared, plus, we don't know what our other measure is, squared, equals our full length of our hypotenuse, 8.5 squared. I'm really lazy. I do not square them. Okay, really lazy. So I put in my calculator 8.5 squared minus 3.6 squared. Make sure you pull the full thing in. So don't try to subtract 8.5 and 3.6 and then square it. That doesn't work. We get 59.29. And then how do I solve? Square root the answer. Then we get x equals 7.7. It said find x, so we're good. Everybody good? All right, so on this one, it's real cut and dry. There's nothing crazy. These are going to be our A and our B. It doesn't have to be that way. It could be B and A. This length, 17, is our hypotenuse. So we're going to do 13.6 squared plus x squared gives us 17 squared. Again, I'm really lazy and I get to use my calculator all the time, so it doesn't matter. 17 squared minus 13.6 squared gives us that x squared is 104.04. Take that square root again. And we get x equals 10.2. That's all you gotta do. Is everybody okay with those? Those are pretty easy ones anyway. Ice cream cone theorem, we're finding the perimeter. What's the top? 8. What's this bottom? 9.1. How do I find this side? 20.1 minus 9.1, which is 11. So that means this one is 11 as well. And then we just add them up. If it messes you up to see everything else, you can mark it out like this. We have 2 8s, 2 9.1s, and 2 11s, which gives us 56.2. On the next one, we have 9 right here. That means this side is what? 9. We have 5 right here. That means this side is 5. How do we get this half? 13.2 minus 5. 13.2 minus 5 is 8.2. So this side is 8.2. We don't know these two, but we can find it. You're going to do 14 minus 9, which is 5. So this side is 5. If you need to, mark out every measure you're not going to use. So that way you're not looking at too much more. Okay. So we have 2 9s, 2 5s, 2 8.2, and 2 more 5s. And we get 54.4. Everybody okay? Number 7. Again, look for the singular one. Our single is 4.5. So if this side is 4.5, the other side is 4.5. To find this half, I'll say half lightly. You're going to do 12.5 minus 4.5, which gives you 8. So if this half is 8, this one is 8. How do I find this part right here? How do I find this top part? 13.3 minus 8. So this side is 5.3. Add them up. Again, if you need to, mark out what you have. I started with 4.5. I found 8. And then I got 5.3. So it gives me 35.6. We're almost done, sorry. 3 more problems. Any questions, 5 through 7? Same thing. Unnecessary stuff in here, because what do we know about these two? They're equal. So 6x plus 1 equals 7x minus 5. And it just says solve for x. So we're going to subtract 6x. We get 1 equals x minus 5. Add 5 to both sides. And we get x equals 6. What am I doing on number 9? Unnecessary stuff. We know that 5x plus 3 is the same thing as 4x plus 9. Subtract your 4x. We get x plus 3 equals 9. Subtract your 3. And x equals 6. And then one more, and we're done. Again, unnecessary stuff, because we know that -5 plus 3x is the same as 2x plus 6. We're going to subtract our 2x. We get -5 plus x equals 6. We're going to add 5, and x equals 11. Any questions? All right, so all you have is this tangent quiz. I don't think I'm doing anything else. Let me check and make sure. Because I think you do secants tomorrow. Yep, this is not. Yep. All right, secant tangents tomorrow. So all you have is your quiz left. So make sure that you guys go in and do that quiz. And if you didn't do as well on the last couple quizzes from this section, like this module that we're in, please go back and fix those. If you need help, just let me know. I'm going to stop sharing, stop recording.